Have you ever thought that a simple leaf you step on every day could be the key to abandoning medications and recovering your vitality? It may seem like an exaggeration, but today you'll understand why this statement makes so much sense. To begin with, did you know that more than 80% of elderly people consume at least one continuous use medication? And even more alarming, many of them could avoid a good portion of these medications if they had access to natural and effective solutions that nature itself offers, often inside their homes, in the backyard, or on a simple walk around the neighborhood. The problem is that this knowledge has been lost over time, and with it the chance to live more lightly, with less pain, fewer side effects, and more freedom to enjoy life. When we talk about health in old age, it's impossible to ignore how problems like high blood pressure, diabetes, joint pain, and circulation difficulties impact daily life. Small tasks like walking to the bakery, climbing a few steps, or playing with grandchildren can become real challenges. And to deal with all this, the solution offered is almost always the same: a medical prescription and a new blister pack of medication. At first, it seems to work, but soon other problems arise. Side effects, new pains, a body increasingly dependent on chemical substances, and that constant feeling that health will never be the same again. This is where frustration lives. Many elderly people feel trapped in an endless cycle, where each new attempt to improve seems to lead them to a new difficulty. And it's not just the body that suffers. The mind also feels the weight, the fear of losing autonomy, the worry of being a burden to the family, the sadness of no longer being able to do what was once simple and pleasurable. All of this accumulates and often leads to a silent loss of self-esteem and hope. Families also suffer, trying to help, but often not knowing how. Closely following this daily battle and feeling in their hearts the pain of seeing their loved ones facing so many limitations. But it's important to emphasize that this situation doesn't happen due to lack of effort or will. Quite the contrary. Most elderly people follow the guidance they receive, take their medications properly, attend consultations, undergo tests, and do everything else that is recommended. The issue is that the system often doesn't offer the complete path. And this is where what many people still don't know comes in. There are natural, proven, and safe alternatives that can transform this reality. Simple solutions within everyone's reach that respect the body, strengthen health from the inside out, and restore the quality of life that seemed lost. To better illustrate, let me tell you Miller's story. At 75, he no longer believed he could live without a collection of medications. With each doctor's visit, he left with a new prescription in hand. He took pills to control his blood pressure, others for joint pain, some more to sleep better, and even some to help deal with the side effects of the first ones. Life seemed to revolve around medication schedules and medical appointments. Walking to the square, something he loved to do, had become a painful and tiring task. Until, by chance, during a conversation with a neighbor, he heard about a plant that, according to them, worked wonders for health. At first, Miller was skeptical. After all, how could something so simple help if even the most expensive medications weren't working? But curiosity spoke louder, and he decided to try. With proper guidance and great responsibility, he began to introduce the use of the plant into his routine. What happened in the following months changed his life. Gradually, the pains decreased, his blood pressure stabilized, and his energy returned. It wasn't overnight, nor was it magic. It was the result of a conscious choice to care for his own body in a natural and respectful way. Today, Miller has returned to walking in the square every day, with a smile on his face and a joy he thought he had lost forever. This story is not unique. Many people have rediscovered the power that nature offers and, with it, gained more health, more energy, and more freedom. What is often missing is just knowledge, knowing that an alternative exists, believing that change is possible, and taking the first step, however small. Of course, it's always important to remember that any change in healthcare routines should be done responsibly, with monitoring and common sense. We're not talking here about abandoning medical treatments or acting on your own, but rather integrating natural alternatives that can enhance results and greatly improve quality of life. Looking at the overall scenario, when we think about the most common symptoms that affect the elderly, we realize how many signs are ignored. Frequent pains, swollen legs, constant tiredness, lack of energy, difficulty sleeping, mood swings, all of this is often accepted as normal aging. But it shouldn't be. These signs are the body's alerts, cries for help that cannot be neglected. Ignoring these symptoms is like ignoring a car's warning light. It may seem that everything is fine, but inside the engine is asking for help. And the sooner we pay attention, the easier it is to fix the problem and avoid serious complications in the future. Unfortunately, there is still a very strong belief that aging is synonymous with getting sick. That pain, fatigue, and loss of autonomy are inevitable, but that's not true. Aging can indeed be a process full of vitality, joy, and freedom. Of course, the body changes and adaptation is necessary, but living well is possible and within reach of those who seek the right tools. And one of these tools may be literally under our feet, growing discreetly in the garden, backyard, or neighborhood square. That's why it's so important that you stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to show you in a clear and accessible way how to identify this powerful plant, how to use it correctly, and how to integrate it safely into your routine. You'll understand why so many elderly people, after learning this information, were able to recover their quality of life, reduce medication use, and return to doing what they love with more energy, willingness, and joy. Rest assured, because in this video you will discover solutions that truly work in a natural and safe way. You'll see that you're not alone on this journey, and that there are indeed paths that respect your body, your history, and your desire to live with health and dignity. Together we'll build this new reality where aging means accumulating beautiful stories, enriching experiences, and, above all, quality of life. And the best part, with tools that nature itself generously offers us every day. Now that we understand the dimension of the problem and the hope that exists to solve it, in the next section, we'll delve a little deeper into the causes of these challenges, the most common mistakes people make without realizing it, and how these mistakes can, unfortunately, further hinder health recovery. But don't worry, because as I promised you, practical and safe solutions are on the way. So stay with me, because what comes next can make all the difference in your life. Many people don't realize it, but the root of chronic problems that so greatly affect health in old age goes far beyond what blood tests or pressure measurements show. The true origin of many diseases lies in silent processes that happen inside the body, and that, if not treated correctly, accumulate over the years. One of the biggest culprits is chronic inflammation. That internal inflammation, which, unlike a visible inflammation like a wound, doesn't cause immediate pain, but silently wears down tissues, blood vessels, and organs. This inflammation paves the way for diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, arthritis, heart problems, and even memory and reasoning difficulties. Another critical factor is poor circulation. Over the years, arteries tend to lose flexibility and accumulate fat deposits. This hinders blood flow, reduces the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to cells, and weakens all body systems. Compromised circulation is one of the main reasons for the emergence of pain, swelling, sensation of heavy legs, and even serious problems such as thrombosis and vascular accidents. At this point, even if the person takes medication to control blood pressure or sugar, the underlying problem, which is inflammation and poor circulation, remains there, acting silently. The lack of essential nutrients is also a very serious and little discussed issue. Even when eating regularly, many elderly people show deficiencies in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidant compounds. This happens because the body, over time, absorbs fewer nutrients from food. In addition, the consumption of processed foods, poor in nutrients and rich in inflammatory substances, further aggravates this situation. Magnesium deficiency, for example, is extremely common and can trigger pressure problems, muscle pain, and difficulty sleeping. Lack of vitamin D weakens bones and the immune system. Antioxidant deficiency increases internal inflammation and accelerates cell aging. Although medications are important to control symptoms and bring relief when needed, it's essential to understand that they, by themselves, don't treat the root of the problem. Often they help balance the organism while true care needs to happen from the inside out. If internal inflammation isn't addressed, if circulation isn't strengthened, and if the body doesn't receive the nutrients it needs, the imbalance can silently persist. That's why it's so important to adopt habits that complement medical treatments and promote a more complete and lasting recovery, always respecting the guidance of healthcare professionals. Now let's talk about the most common mistakes that prevent health recovery and that are often made without realizing. The first major mistake is relying solely on medications. Medicines are important tools in many cases, but they should never be the only strategy. When you don't change your diet, when you don't strengthen your body, when you don't address the cause of the problem, the results are always limited and temporary. Another common mistake is considering certain signs as normal aging and not worthy of attention. Constant pain, excessive fatigue, lack of energy, irregular sleep, difficulty walking. All these are warning signs from the body. Ignoring them is a great risk, as small discomforts today can develop into serious problems tomorrow. Just because aging brings natural changes doesn't mean we need to accept pain or limitation as a mandatory part of this life stage. Inadequate nutrition is another serious mistake. It's very common to see elderly people eating little or choosing quick and convenient foods that are poor in nutrients. Bread, cookies, sodas, processed and sugary foods take the place that should belong to fresh vegetables, fruits, seeds, and living foods. Without the right nutrients, the body weakens, inflammation increases, and cell regeneration is compromised. Sedentary lifestyle also contributes immensely to health deterioration. Spending too much time sitting, avoiding walks, or depriving yourself of simple movements reduces muscle strength, weakens bones, worsens circulation, and compromises the body's ability to defend against diseases. The human body was made for movement, and even light movements adapted to each person's conditions make a huge difference to overall health. Another habit that seems small but has a large negative impact is the lack of hydration. Many elderly people drastically reduce their water intake, often without realizing it. Lack of water impairs circulation, hinders kidney function, dries out joints, and increases the risk of blood clot formation. Keeping the body hydrated is a simple and powerful gesture to preserve health at any age. It's important to remember that these mistakes are common and understandable. They happen because, for a long time, it was believed that aging was synonymous with losing quality of life, and because information about natural and integrative care is still not widely disseminated. But the reality is that the human body has an incredible capacity to regenerate, adapt, and recover its vitality when treated with respect and care. And that's exactly where hope lies. Correcting these mistakes doesn't require impossible changes. On the contrary, small daily attitudes introduced lightly and gradually already bring great results. Improving nutrition, hydrating better, making small movements, observing body signals, and mainly, integrating the power of the right medicinal plants into your routine are steps that anyone can take, regardless of age or health history. Additionally, there are specific plants that science has already proven help combat inflammation, improve circulation, strengthen immunity, and provide essential nutrients for the body to balance naturally. Many of these plants are simple, accessible, and can be used practically in daily life. And the most impressive thing is that many of these solutions are much closer than you might imagine, sometimes even in your own backyard. Now that you better understand how chronic problems arise, what are the main mistakes that need to be avoided, and how small attitudes can generate great transformations, it's time to take the next step. In the next section, I'm going to present you with a practical and powerful solution based on the best that nature itself offers. A simple, accessible, and very effective herb that can make a huge difference in your health, your energy, and your quality of life. Stay with me, because the next part is the most important. Let's talk exactly about how to use this herb. what its real benefits are, and how it can become a great ally in your journey to live with more health, more freedom, and much more joy. You deserve this transformation, and you're much closer to it than you imagine. Now tell me here in the comments, where are you from, and if you identified with any of the habits we've discussed so far. I really want to know your story, because sharing experiences is a powerful way to inspire and help other people who are also seeking to live with more health and joy. It's time to talk about the protagonist of this video. The powerful plant that has been catching the attention of science and natural health professionals is Ora Pro nobis. Its scientific name is Pereschia aculeata, belonging to the cactus family, although its leaves are green, soft and succulent, quite different from traditional cacti. Rich in high biological value proteins, Ora Pro nobis contains a surprising amount of essential amino acids, which are fundamental for maintaining and recovering muscle mass, so important in old age. Additionally, studies show that this plant is a natural source of soluble fibers, vitamins A, C, and B complex, minerals such as iron, calcium, magnesium, zinc, and phosphorus, as well as potent antioxidant compounds that help neutralize free radicals. This combination makes it a powerful ally to reduce silent inflammations in the body, improve immunity, strengthen bones and muscles, and promote healthier circulation. In the body, Ora Pro nobis works on different fronts. The high concentration of iron helps combat anemia, a common problem among the elderly, while calcium and magnesium strengthen bones and joints, preventing falls and fractures. The presence of antioxidants like vitamin C helps protect cells against premature aging, reducing the risk of chronic diseases. Dietary fiber regulates the intestine, controlling blood sugar levels and improving digestion, factors that directly impact overall health. A fascinating characteristic of Ora Pro nobis is its high concentration of mucilage, a gelatinous substance that contributes to the balance of intestinal flora, improves nutrient absorption, and acts as a natural anti-inflammatory in the digestive system. Studies indicate that regular consumption of mucilage is associated with a significant reduction in systemic inflammatory processes, which is essential for those seeking to age with quality and vitality. And how to take advantage of all this in practice? The most traditional way to use Ora Pro nobis is to incorporate its fresh leaves into daily meals. You can add the raw leaves to salads, lightly sauté them in olive oil, include them in soups, broths, omelets, and even in savory pie fillings. Another delicious option is to prepare green juices, combining Ora Pro nobis with fruits such as orange or pineapple, which besides being tasty, enhance the absorption of nutrients. If it's more practical for you, you can also use the dehydrated version of the plant. In this case, simply grind the dried leaves and use as a seasoning to sprinkle over rice, beans, salads, and soups. The concentration of nutrients remains high, and it's a simple way to ensure daily consumption. There are also Ora Pro nobis supplements in capsules, indicated for those who prefer practicality or don't have access to the fresh plant. However, it's always important to choose products from reliable sources, and if possible, with guidance from a natural health professional. It's important to remember that, like any functional food, the secret lies in consistency. Consuming Ora Pro nobis once in a while won't have the same impact as incorporating it as a regular part of your diet. Small daily amounts are already sufficient to strengthen your body continuously and naturally. If this made sense to you, share it with someone who also needs this information. It can make all the difference. Sometimes, a simple tip like this is what's missing to transform the health of those we love. And how to further enhance the effects of Ora Pro nobis? First, by combining its consumption with an anti-inflammatory diet. This means including more fresh fruits, varied vegetables, seeds such as chia and flaxseed, extra virgin olive oil, and whole foods. Avoiding excess sugars, fried foods, and ultra-processed products also helps reduce internal inflammation and creates the ideal environment for the body to regenerate. Another fundamental point is to keep the body moving. Practicing exercises adapted to your reality, such as light walks, daily stretches, and muscle-strengthening activities, such as Pilates for the elderly, makes all the difference for circulation, joint health, and mental well-being. Movement regulates hormones, improves mood, increases energy, and even prevents chronic diseases. Staying hydrated is a simple but powerful action. Consuming at least 1.5 liters of water daily, even if gradually, helps cleanse the body, improves circulation, and facilitates the absorption of nutrients from food. And if it's difficult to remember to drink water, you can create reminders on your phone or place small bottles around the house for easier access. It's also important to remember that quality sleep is one of the pillars of health. Sleeping well is essential for the body to perform regeneration processes, control blood pressure, balance metabolism, and strengthen immunity. Creating a calm environment for sleeping, avoiding bright screens before bed, and having regular rest times greatly help in this process. Pay close attention because despite all the benefits, the consumption of any medicinal plant should be done responsibly. People who use anticoagulant medications, for example, should always consult their doctor before introducing new functional foods into their routine. Ora pro nobis is considered safe for the vast majority of people, but all caution is always valid, especially when it comes to health. If you like content like this, click like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive more health and wellness tips. This way, you'll always stay updated with information that can make all the difference in your life and in the lives of those you love. And see, you don't need to change everything at once. Small actions, maintained with care and consistency, are the ones that bring the greatest results. Including a new leaf in your diet, walking a few extra minutes, drinking an extra glass of water, sleeping a little better. Each gesture, however simple it may seem, is a powerful step towards a healthier and happier life. And if you want to solve this once and for all, check out the link we left here in the description with more detailed guidance. There you'll find special content for those who wish to delve deeper into the use of Ora Pro Nobis, recipe examples, healthy habit tips, and a step-by-step guide to create a routine that strengthens your body from the inside out. Nature offers us incredible paths to a healthier and happier life. And the best part, sometimes the solution has always been within our reach, right there in the backyard, waiting to be rediscovered. Ora Pro Nobis is a clear example of this. Simple, accessible, nutritious, and powerful. Believe it, your body is capable of renewal, no matter your age, your history, or your challenges. Start today with small steps and watch the transformation happen. With each healthy meal, each walk taken with joy, each new habit you adopt, you are rebuilding your health with your own hands. Each choice today builds the health you will live tomorrow. Take care of yourself, because you deserve a full life, full of energy, joy, and freedom. Your future can be lighter, more vibrant, and more beautiful than you imagine. Let's go together on this transformation journey. With each small step you take toward your well-being, you are strengthening not only your body, but also your mind and spirit. Even if some changes seem too simple, never underestimate the power of consistency. It is what, day after day, builds a new path, more solid and full of silent achievements that over time turn into great victories. Taking care of yourself is an act of love and courage. It's recognizing that regardless of age or what has already been lived, there is always the possibility to start over, to renew, to bloom again. Every conscious choice you make today, whether including a more nutritious food on your plate, getting up to walk a little more, or taking a moment to breathe and be grateful, is shaping a future with more vitality and joy. It doesn't matter if results don't appear overnight. What matters is the direction you're heading. Small improvements add up. And suddenly, one day, you notice that you're feeling more energetic, stronger, with more desire to do what once seemed so distant. It's important to remember that you are not alone on this journey. Many people in different places are also seeking the same, a life with more lightness, health, and happiness. And when you choose to take care of yourself, you inspire others to do the same. The care you dedicate to yourself is reflected in your family, your friends, and everyone around you. Therefore, never give up on yourself. Never doubt your ability to change. Your body is a wonderful machine that responds to every gesture of care you offer it. Take care of yourself with patience, with hope, and with pride in each small victory achieved. The best is yet to come. Your story of overcoming challenges and health is just beginning.